Good Wednesday morning, everybody. It is so great to be back with you all again. It's a gorgeous morning. I mean, we've got the Santa Ana winds, but it's feeling like it's going to be a warm day. And hopefully that solar warming will warm up our fishing because there's a lot of rumors around town now about some much better bluefin tuna fishing in the last 24 hours. Some rumors and some confirmed facts. It does actually seem to be popping back into gear a little bit. We'll have more on that in a moment. And also some incredible sheep's head fishing going on at San Nicolas Island for the Pride and some other guys. You'll hear from some passengers that were on board the Pride when they got in. They were really, really excited. The Freedom is out today, this morning, bumping around, trying to find some fish. We'll see how they do. And the Pride's back at it again. Will they find those bluefin, or will they fall back on some exceptional bottom fishing that provides great table fare for everybody else? We've got the weather. We've got so much more. You know what time it is, everybody. It is time for the morning briefing. Good morning. Delightful. Hey, it is truly great to be back with you all. How about you do me a big favor right now? You always do it, and I'm so deeply appreciated. But if you could hit that thumbs up button, that like button, it means so much to us here at Friedman Adventures on YouTube. Helps us move up in the algorithm and helps us provide better content for you. So please hit that thumbs up button right now. It means a lot. All right, we've got some breezy Santa Ana type conditions here for a couple of days, but man, the weekend, there is just going to be no wind at all. Of course, there's going to be a little bit of wind, but I'm talking like 1 to 6 knots over a real big swath of the ocean here in the Eastern Pacific. I mean, the entire Channel Island area out to Tanner Bank and down the Baja coast as far down as 140 miles, like down to San Martin Island, looks like it's going to be absolutely pristine and beautiful with not much wind. That makes, if this bluefin tuna thing is for real, that makes finding those bluefin tuna a lot easier, and maybe we'll get a degree or two up in temp, and that could help really push this thing back into gear. Now, it has been very hit and miss on the bluefin tuna, as you well know. I'm going to get into that in a moment, but we're seeing some signs, and I'm hearing some rumors about possible fish out there on Tanner Bank again, and that is great news because you anchor up on the right spot out there and you can really get it done. Not big fish. You know, that Tanner Bank bluefin for the most part has been like 25 to 40 pounds, but there's been some nice bigger ones bouncing around there also, so we'll check that out. A little check on some long-range fishing information, fishing down there the lower banks down below Magdalena Bay. The Independents came up with a yellowfin tuna that weighed in at 351 pounds. That's a gorgeous fish. That's a nice big one. The Polaris Supreme also called in, and they had 45 or so skins. Those are wahoo, and they had some pretty good yellowtail and yellowfin tuna fishing on a 7-day trip. So down the Baja Peninsula, several hundred miles, there still is some really, really good fishing going on. All right, let's talk Ensenada. We cannot talk Ensenada without mentioning our good friends at Bluefin Sport Fishing. They're doing a great job down there, mostly focusing on rockfish right now, lings, reds, boccaccio, and all kinds of other critters, and it has been really good. Some big old viejas also, big sheep's head. There's been some really excellent fishing down there, so you're able to go down there and load up. And Victor from Bluefin Sport Fishing was telling me that in December and January, the water gets cold along the beaches, and a bank called the Soledad Bank down near Santo Tomas will get an influx of the bigger lings. Right now, smaller lings with some bigger fish, but he said in those wintertime months, in that cold water, those lings move up into the shallows, and it's game on for some really great fishing. Arnie Man down there in Ensenada also. Arnie Man, I know I haven't been on the air with my live show for a while, so I don't know if you're eating your palomitas or not. He's had a few yellows here recently. He's had some good bonita fishing. He's had some rock fishing to go along with that. So that is also something else to keep our minds on. There are still some yellows around. There are some bonita. Those guys from the rocks that fish down the Baja Coast right outside of Ensenada, Campo Siete, are catching some pretty good bonita and an occasional yellowtail in there. So it's not over in terms of the surface bite yet, but you definitely have backing yourselves up down there some outstanding bottom fishing. And, bring some 8 to 12 ounce torpedo sinkers, and you're going to be in really, really good shape. Friend of mine, he put a comment up on our YouTube channel, Javier. He's going to be down with the boys from Bluefin. I believe Javier said Monday or maybe over the weekend. I'm not sure. Javier, please tell me again. I'll go back and read your comment, but I wish him nothing but the very best of luck. I know he's going to have a really good time down there in Ensenada, out there on Punabanda. Yeah, Bluefin sport fishing. Those guys know how to treat you. And once again, if you haven't seen the video that we shot, watch it, because when you come back into Bluefin, it's not like you hit the docks and say, all right, see you later, great trip, see you in a few months. It's no, sit down, have a beer, have a cup of coffee, have a soda. We're going to clean the fish right here. We're going to make you some ceviche. It's just really a lovely, lovely atmosphere. I absolutely love it. Any of you want any more information, you can get a hold of Victor, or you can get a hold of me, and I'll help you out with regard to that also. All right, let's talk bluefin tuna out of San Diego. It has been hit and miss. There's been some really poor scores, day-and-a-half trips with 5 fish, stuff like that. But yesterday, the Pacifica, on a day-and-a-half trip out of Seaforth, early in the day, they were already up to 22 bluefin tuna. Most of that fish was 25 to 40 pounds. It was for 21 anglers, so pretty good on a per rod average, and they were just starting their day-and-a-half trip out. I hadn't heard a score here since that time, so they may have done even better than that. So that really sounds good. A lot of bait fish, a lot of daytime fish. That's another good sign. We're getting this good weather. We may get a degree or two up in water temperature. I'm liking the weekend. I'm liking our chances on board the Relentless out of H&M Landing at 9 p.m. On Friday night we leave, we get back in Sunday morning, and I'm liking that whole thing. If you're on that trip, and I'm going to send you out a sheet later today, but if you're on that trip, you're definitely going to want to have some 25 and 40 pound with you to fish the bait fish. And I love fluorocarbon, and I love Opsin, www.opsinusa.com. Put in FA at checkout, and Greg Brown will send you a love note with some perfume on it and also a free gift. So make sure you have that. Hook sizes about 2.0 are working really well, but you should have some hooks down as small as a number 2 size hook also. And I would bring, probably not going to be any nighttime fishing on this trip, but I would bring some 12-ounce torpedo sinkers just in case we fish a rockfish or two on this trip. If it gets really slow, or we're limited out on bluefin, let's be optimistic, okay? We're limited out on bluefin. Maybe we can find somewhere to drop and catch you some fish to put a little color in the holds also. So just keep that all in mind. That should be really good. And also, if you're on that trip, remember we're going to have some hors d'oeuvres or snacks for you, appetizers for you. Friday night when you arrive, our departure time is 9 p.m. Beer, sodas, all that is part of your $450 fare. All of that. So you get all the beer you want, all the sodas you want, within reason. On the beer, that is. And then also we're going to have hors d'oeuvres, or I guess I should say snacks, or maybe I should say appetizers. You're going to get some food on Friday night as we're doing kind of a potluck. You're not required to bring anything. If you want to bring your specialty dish, go for it. We've got plenty for you because Greg Bates is taking care of it. Should I let the cat out of the bag on what he's bringing? I don't think. Maybe, huh? Pulled pork sandwiches, with the Hawaiian sweetbread. That should be really good. Jolene is going to be on board this trip. She is such an awesome person. Jolene's bringing her kick butt salsa. So we're going to have plenty of stuff. If you'd like to bring something, don't hesitate. We would love to see it. So back to the bluefin situation. That seems to be coming on. I'm almost positive we'll be focused 100% on BFT on that trip. So that's what you want to be ready for. Do you need 100-pound? No, probably not. The grade of fish that we're looking at right now is 25 to 40, but man, you just never know. You know how that is. It's so fluid. It changes from hour to hour. I was going to say day to day, but literally you can go from one school of fish to another and it's straight 200-pounders. So if you have it, bring it. I don't think you're going to need it. Now, Outrider on a 2.5-day trip, 9 guys, 12 bluefin tuna, Pacific Queen, 31 anglers on a 1.5-day trip with 21 bluefin tuna. It is getting better than those scores indicate, however. And we do have this breezy Santa Ana condition, but a lot of times that'll knock the ocean down, number one. And number two, the weekend is gorgeous. It's going to be beautiful with no wind at all. So that is all sounding really, really good. Lots of squiddly diddly still moving in. There's squid at most all the islands and several areas along the coast, all the way up to Ventura area and beyond, north of that. So there's a lot of that market squid, which is the squid we use for bait. Once again, that is a magnet. It's part of the food chain. The big ones will come to eat the little ones. And there's been some noise of some sea bass that I'm going to tell you about in just 1 second. But the Pride got into 22nd Street Landing yesterday afternoon, and I was there. I walked out, and I looked, and I saw a cart full of goats, just as many sheep's head, and nice quality fish as you could imagine. And I took the camera, and I turned it towards some of the passengers. And when you've got all the passengers saying, man, what a trip, it was fantastic, well, you know you've got to beat. Here are some of those guys, and take a look at that catch right now.
9. Half of it melted, probably.
Yeah.
You guys had a good trip?
Amazing trip.
Really?
Man.
Where'd you guys fish?
It was off Santa Barbara
And Nick and Barbara? Yeah. Any yellows or all bottom fish?
All bottom fish.
Who cares, man, right?
It's a big goats.
God almighty, that's a good catch. How many days? Oh, this was a 1.75?
1.75?
Yeah, right on, boys.
But really, we did it in a 1.5, all this.
Really?
This morning was only a couple halibuts.
They called a number.
All this was yesterday.
Oh, geez. Are you kidding?
Yeah, yesterday morning.
Really? Jeez.
It's like a 5-hour bite.
What a trip.
I think you need a big.
Good job.
Thank you.
All right, beautiful catch on board the Pride. I don't know how it can get any better than that. I mean, you talk about a lot of great eating fish going home. And, you know, when you're fishing shallow water goats like at San Nicolas Island, I'm telling you, man, those fish pull and pull hard. They're fun to catch. They're hard fighting. And the table fare, it's so good. Fish taco, ceviche, whatever it is you decide to make, it's going to be good. Nice day on the Pride. And as I said, they're out right now. This morning, this Wednesday morning, out with the Freedom and several other guys. Not sure what they're going to target, and I am hearing that bluefin tuna rumor mill, but it's really strong rumor mill. I'm not talking about the trip on the Pacific. I'm hearing some other stuff, so we'll see how that all plays out here today. So if there's any really major kind of special updates, I'll let you know about that. Once again, it's sounded pretty good to me, and I like the fact that it's kind of coming together with the weather. All right, Coronado Islands. You know, we had a water temperature drop at the Coronado Islands a couple of weeks ago, and it never, ever recovered from that. The last trip that I'm aware of was the Grande who was out there, and the Grande had good fishing, no question about it. He had 14 guys with 11 bonita, 12 lingcod, 83 rockfish. Nice fishing on the bottom stuff, but no yellowtail. Hopefully, we're going to see that return also this week, and that's a possibility. I know that Sean Hardigan on the Mission Bell, Scott Buchert will be decking on that trip, so you may want to run in the other direction. Just kidding, Scott. Just kidding, everybody. Scott's a hard worker and a lot of fun. Tell him hi for me if you jump on the Bell with Sean and Scott and their great crew. They're going to give those yellows a hard look on Saturday. Sean says it could come back. He's hoping it does. He's not guaranteeing anything. Nothing. And he said there's shallow water rockfish there that they can catch. But he said that when the yellows were biting there, they were biting pretty well on the yo-yo iron and dropper loop with like an 8-ounce torpedo sinker. So yellows in the winter, it's not quite winter, but let's say fall and moving toward winter, love to bite deep. They're deep. So they haven't shown up, manifested themselves for a while now. But if they do, it's probably going to be deep fish. So keep that in mind. Coronado Islands, rockfish right now. Will it change? Will we start to see some more fish? Well, I got my ear to the yachts that fish Catalina Island. And they are top secret. They don't want anybody to know what they're doing. But they've had a few nice sea bass here the last 48 hours. Nice ones in the short water, too. Some out in a little bit deeper water, but there's been some fish up on the beach. That squid that's at Catalina, and sometimes it's there and sometimes it's not, but it's been there enough, I think, to attract some of those predators, and they are starting to catch some. Are the sport boats getting them? Absolutely no, they are not. But yacht fish are sometimes a precursor to what we see on the sports. We'll keep our eyes on that very nicely. One of those fish reported to weigh 48 pounds. That's a gorgeous WSB for any time of the year. Bonita fishing at Catalina Island for some private boaters, outstanding. Sport boats have been fishing that area, have also, Catalina, have been coming up with some really nice fishing in terms of bonita. There's an occasional yellowtail, but it hadn't been all that good. Sport boat fishing at Cat has been kind of okay. Up there at Santa Barbara Island, we mentioned to you that the El Patron was there recently. Had some big yellows. There's also been a few sea bass there, a few halibut there. There's some squid racing around that place, and always some good rock fishing. And then up in the Channel Islands, an occasional halibut, sea bass, plenty of rockfish biting up there in that neck of the woods. Nothing wrong with that. Along the coast, we're seeing mostly rockfish, a few bass down there out of Dana Point, but a lot of rockfish up and down the coast. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm just telling you what's biting. Those things are great eating. And, you know, you take the kids out and they can have some fun. You can always have a great day on the water with the right attitude. You're going to have a special, memorable day. Just keep that in mind. If you are, however, looking for a big surface bite, that has not been showing up along the coast at all. In fact, it was a slow year along the coast in general for surface fishing. Sporadic barracuda bites, few yellows here and there, occasional good yellowtail score, but overall, it's been just like it is right now, rockfish, and that's what we are definitely seeing right now. In the surf, with occasional halibut biting, I can't believe, man, all those grunion runs are gone. This year is gone almost. It's almost Thanksgiving, for God's sakes. It's almost Christmas. Well, anyway, I digress. Back to the surf. A few halibut in there, a few spot fin, croaker also starting to bite, and it's not going to be long. We're already starting to see some barred perch. I like that cooler water, so we'll be seeing more and more of that as we move along. All right, folks, it's a beautiful Wednesday morning. It's going to warm up. It's going to be gorgeous. It's breezy because of those Santa Anas, but then as we move into the weekend, it's going to get really nice, and I'm hoping, got my fingers crossed, that we can get one last good hit out of San Diego on the BFT on board the Relentless. I can't wait for that. All right, and don't forget, we are going to have some raffles coming up to help fuel our gift giveaways in Mexico. So many of you are such great Americans, and I say that because Americans are the most generous, loving, giving people on the face of the earth, and you prove that every time you do something. Rather than me just ask you for some funds, we'll put together some raffles, and then we'll ask you to buy some raffle tickets to help us get all of those goods across the border. I was just talking to Diego Nuno just a second ago. He's on the Royal Star right now. He's a deckhand of the Royal Star, but Diego was born on Cedro, so he really wants to do something for the island that suffered some damages, quite a bit, during that hurricane that rolled through there several months ago. So we're working with Diego, and it's really costly. It's already been really costly, and nobody around here is doing it for money. That's just not happening. In fact, we're all in the hole on this. But since my days as teaching as a missionary in Costa Rica and Mexico, I can't say no. I just can't. So we got this thing rolling, and we're going to ask you for some help with some raffle stuff and ask you to sell tickets for us at your clubs. If you think you'd like to participate in that, just leave a comment up there on our YouTube channel with some way for me to contact you, or you can just text me if you'd like to help out in the raffle part, selling tickets, buying tickets, whatever, 657-227-6459. Don't forget to give us a big old like. Let's see what the Pride does today. Let's see what the Freedom does today. San Diego-based boats are out. It should be a lovely, fun Wednesday. And of course, every morning, we've got the morning briefing for you right here. Have a great day. Should I grab my coffee cup one more time, take a swig with you all? Why not, right? Let me toast you on a great day today. Thank you so much for all you do to help Friedman Adventures grow. And I hope to see you really, really soon. Take care, my friends.